Could we do maybe like, this is just a thought, like as you would be the coordinator,
Mm-hmm.
and then maybe have 12 leaders, because then we could do like we could oversee like our 3 people could oversee like a grade. I know we'd work together, but then if they knew like, hey, I'm the one that's overseeing the seniors, to make sure that check in with them.
They so the sources,
idea.
and answer your question, that's a good idea. Sources of strength recommend a adult to student ratio of 1 to 10, around there. It doesn't have to be 1 to 10. I mean, that'd be closer to 2 to 10, which I'm fine with. My only question would be, and I don't know the answer to this, throwing it out there, is 12 too much on a committee? I don't know. Is that too many people? Do we want to avoid double digits? I don't know. If we did 8.
Well, I would say one thing that we talked about with the coaches was something very similar to this, that, and even Cara Hill brought up the idea that we have a network of people that are available, for kids that break the athletic code. And so, this would be a great, that's why I think having maybe more than what's recommended might be serve dual purpose, and I know, Bruce, it is harder to have a meeting, but they can make it. If they can't, they can't. And I don't, it's not, the training, that would be the big one, that they're fully
huge.
trained. They can be there for that, but I don't know.
No, I agree. I think having people outside the community area school is great, because kids may go to church, they may go to that same church, or, on a Sunday may go walk up and express some concerns or feelings or whatever they're having, and having more people available is always good.
I would say no more than 15, but that's just,
I would agree with that.
I feel like that gets a lot. But then I kind of felt like 12 is a good number, because if you work with 12 beginning and let's say 2 fall out or 3 fall out, you're not losing a whole group after a year. You still have a good core group that you could work with.
Sure.
Of the people we named, though, are any of them associated with seniors specifically? I don't think so. Are they? Okay. With Clay's a junior, right?
He'll be a junior, yeah.
Okay.
So I think the parents we'd lose after 1 year.
Right. That's right. I mean, people that would be, oh yeah, I'll be involved now, but then when their kid leaves, then you gotta.
Yeah.
Or Bob could retire.
That could happen any moment.
Bob's
Bob
never
is retired right now. He is.
I know.
Ripping lips every day.
I'll tell you what, man. Full salary and the taste of retirement, I don't know if I'm coming back or not. I've only slept in my bed at home maybe 2 nights since this all started.
Oh, yeah, to only have 2 residents.
Yeah.
One of the guys I played golf with earlier this week, the rule of 85, he's 1 year away from it.
Oh.
And he's like, I might be taking advantage of that next year. He was talking about it.
That's funny. Well, those are great ideas. Let's and I'll kind of summarize the end here so we know what we're going to do. But after we're done today, let's brainstorm some people. We'll start an email chain. Is email okay for you guys? Is that the best way to communicate?
Yeah.
All right. No, Bob, like your TikTok account, do I need to hit you up that way?
No TikTok, please.
Okay.
I personally don't know a lot of the freshmen and sophomores, so I didn't know if it might be, could we reach out to some of those teachers and just say, do you have any recommendations?
Oh, you mean for the teacher to serve or to recommend kids?
Oh, which one are you asking about?
Well, first step is we have to really identify the adult leaders.
Never mind.
And then what my thought was, I would reach out to them. I'd probably invite them to a Zoom meeting and try to explain the process. And once there's actually, if you were to look on the Sources of Strength website, they actually have commitment letters they ask you to sign. Greg's got to sign a commitment letter as the administrator. Then the next step would be to start looking at kids. And honestly, I would probably just get a list of kids by grade level. And I'm sure whoever we bring from outside the community is going to rely heavily on us because we know the kids a little bit better.
I think Chelsea would help there too. She knows a little bit. I mean, I know she's got freshmen and sophomores with IEPs and incoming 8th graders, but I think she might know that younger group a little bit more than what we all do.
Yeah,
I
she's in those
got
classes.
a lot of quality freshmen in geometry.
Oh, do you? Yeah.
Yeah, but not the whole gamut. And then
Yeah.
I have a lot of sophomores. So by the time they've been sophomores, I've probably had them.
Yeah, probably true.
Or my kids, you just never get.
Never quite make
Never
it.
mind, you do. Never mind, you have all semester now.
Oh my
Yeah, you
gosh.
do.
I've got 12 or 14, I don't remember, in that class roster because they don't communicate and do anything.
Yeah.
And I got 2 of the 12 or 14 that are up to date.
Well, I checked. Who is it? Is it Colton Edmonds?
Yeah.
He has a 0% in your class. Zero.
He hasn't turned in one thing.
How do you get
Neither.
a 0? How do
He
you
hasn't turned
not
in
get
one
on and like cheat one time?
He
Like,
hasn't turned in one thing.
How do you have a 0?
He hasn't submitted one email. It's like he removed himself out of the screen.
0.
I want
Like,
none of this.
I have 0 argument. I have 0 fight for you if your percentage is a 0.
Right.
How do you just? I'm baffled. Like 0. How much did you do? I didn't do any. No, really. Did you do a couple? No, I didn't do any.
Funny story. So I was talking to a student the other day. They had a question about summer school. It's a junior, and I won't name them. But they're, not doing well with this whole online learning thing. Informed me in the same conversation that he actually, the student wanted me to talk with their parent to relay the information. They didn't want to really deal with it. They wanted mom or dad to do it. But explained that they were going out of state to Tennessee for vacation or something. That was earlier this week. I thought, sure, you worked hard. Go take some time off.
You've earned it.
Gosh.
So it's like they want to do online summer school, but won't do online regular, like finish out the year.
Ding, ding, ding. Winner, chicken dinner. Yeah.
And it's like summer school requires every day for
Every
like
day.
4 hours at least.
Yeah. Okay.
I had a junior the other day get a hold of me. I'm sorry, a sophomore. And her question was, what are the most important grades, Q4 or S2? What are the most important?
They all kind of matter, but.
I said, and I'm expecting you to do your Canvas. You don't even know what grades are important for God. You're a sophomore. You've been in school now for like 11 years.
But I heard that there's like a 75% for 3rd grade and then 20. So 25% doesn't really matter, right?
And it's coming from
Matt.
Matt.
It's a 0.
Oh, man. Okay, so
0.
we'll need to identify some adult leaders. And I would think, do you feel like we could, next couple of days, maybe by Monday, have some names so I can contact them and maybe have another meeting next week?
I think the list that we threw out is a really good list. I mean,
Okay,
I think that
that.
covers parents, that covers churches, that covers.
Like Kayla Hall, Rusty Connor, Brian Crabtree, Christy Kimball, Leanne Buskirk. Anybody else?
I don't know of a lot of people, to be honest with you.
Oh goodness, the youth pastor at the Middletown Church of Nazarene. Kirsten used to be Baker. It's now Cooper.
Yeah.
What do you think about her?
I honestly think she'd be really good because she's really diving into the Nazarene, like really trying to build relationships with kids. So I think she would be really dedicated to it.
Okay. So that gives me, I'm scrolling back and forth here. That gives me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 more to ask.
And Bruce, like everybody. So don't say you don't know people.
Listen. The people that hang out in my garage are not the people we want on this committee.
Okay, now you could say that, but what does that put us male to female ratio?
Let's see. That would
I'm sure I'm not going to speak for Chelsea, but she didn't text me back. Something may be going on, but I'm sure she would be a part of it.
Yeah.
So I mean, there's an extra female.
So that gives Chelsea, Emily, Leanne, Kirsten, Christy, Kayla. So that's 6 to myself, Bob, Joe, Bruce, Rusty, and Brian. That's an even split.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. I might need, I've got like Brian Crabtree's number. I might need you guys to send me Rusty, and I think I've got Kayla's. I'll need Rusty's.
Let's call him that. Let's call him that. That's the best.
Clown.
I can send you Leanne's phone number.
Okay.
And
I'll
I can
send you Krusty's.
and I can send you Christy Kimball's phone number.
Thank
I'll email
you.
it to you.
Somebody want to tell
I'm
me?
changing my contact for Rusty Connor right now to Krusty.
I just love that it's recorded.
It is recorded.
That's funny.
I'll contact them and see after this meeting today. See if they are interested and if they want to do a Zoom meeting next week sometime. And would you guys like to be involved in that meeting too? Or
Yeah.
Sure.
Hey, let me ask this.
Bob,
So
send me
is
your
this-
fishing schedule and I'll work around it. Okay.
I just
Let
need to
me
know when the
ask
meeting
this.
is beforehand. Greg threw that on me and I wasn't ready for it. You know?
I know.
Hey, but who sent you a text message?
You did. Taking care of me, aren't you, buddy?
Gotcha, buddy.
Appreciate it.
Hey, so is this like sources of strength? Is it kind of like suicide prevention, those kind of things? Is that really
What
like-
it is, it's suicide prevention. The way they describe it, actually, let me read you the mission statement. They describe it as like an upstream model. So most suicide prevention is reactive. Someone's already suicidal. We're trying to get them not suicidal into a better place. This is a more proactive approach. Let's change the culture. Let's change the understanding, the expectations. So before someone gets to that point, they have
Gotcha, okay.
a report so they can talk with. Yeah. Let me get back to their main page here.
Hey, Matt.
Yes.
Hold on.
Oh, Bob's.
Bob waited to mute himself to talk.
Is this video recording? Because I'm about ready to flip Bruce off.
It is video recorded, yeah.
Okay. I have a furnace guy here.
Yeah.
Can I just get back with you in a second
that'd be
or
fine, man.
later?
That'd
All
be
right. See you guys. Have a good day.
Bye.
Yeah, Bob.
See you, Bob.
So I'm
How
going
do
to
I do
read
this?
you, earlier Joe had asked about
Bottom
the,
right corner, leave meeting.
oh, you trying to leave? Whoops, darn it. I can kick you out
Booty.
if you want. Oh, there we go. Okay.
Everybody just got bigger.
Bob's out of the room. So Joe, you had asked about a mission statement on their website. Sources of Strength is described as a best practice youth suicide prevention project designed to harness the power of peer social networks to change unhealthy norms and culture, ultimately preventing suicide, bullying, and substance abuse. The mission of Sources of Strength is to prevent suicide by increasing help-seeking behaviors and prompting connections between peers and caring adults. Sources of Strength moves beyond a singular focus on risk factors by utilizing an upstream approach for youth suicide prevention. And it goes on from there. So, that's from their website. Okay, so those adults, you guys are going to send me their info. Let me go back here for a second. So I'm on their website, assembling your team. I'm just going to read you just a few blurbs from their website. It's talking about the student team, that is. It's optimal to train 6 to 12% of the student body in order to positively change school norms and culture through Sources of Strength messaging. What types of students should be recruited? Natural leaders. Strong peer leaders are natural and key leaders among different groups of students in the school. They are students whose voices are heard by other students who they affiliate with. You'll enjoy this. They may be peer helpers, student council members, gang leaders, SAD members or others. That really hits it all. It is.
I'll take care of the gang leaders.
That's what I thought.
That's the group I know, Emily.
The Bell Buckle Gang, BBG.
Yeah. I do have a diesel.
Actually, yeah, we do have that belt buckle club. Yeah. It's especially important to identify peer leaders who influence with diverse types of cliques and groups. They may not be the quote unquote high achievers or highly engaged students. Some have experienced the effects of suicide on a personal basis. Others have been active in previous prevention efforts. All grades, various gender identities and sexual orientations, groups less connected to school, as many known cliques as possible, and all the racial and ethnic groups of the school. So that's who they recommend to be identified.
Well, and really looking at all this, I mean, you think about it, like Emily has been involved or is involved with student council.
Mm-hmm.
You're involved with the Transformers.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I've got special ed kids. You know, I mean, so I think this is a good group to try to fit every single gamut of the grades.
Yeah.
So it's a good idea.
Thanks. Okay. So then what we'll do is I'll get a hold of our outside leaders, invite them to consider being involved. Just a thought, if some of them just don't have the time commitment, and so we end up without 12, we have less than that, do you think we should identify other people as alternates?
I think if we start with the list we have and see where we go from there, then I think we can re-meet as a group and try to find out some other names.
Okay.
I hate to say it, but I'm assuming that most of those people are going to be able to would like to be a part of it. I mean, I would assume they would. I mean, they've all been affected in some way.
Yeah.
Whether it be suicide or their kid coming home and having difficulty, or I mean, they've all been affected in certain ways. So
yeah, I would agree. Well, then after we would, and just kind of thinking out loud here, after we would get our group leaders, our leaders in place, then we would identify our student leaders, start that process of identifying student leaders. The next step from Sources of Strength, what they've asked for me is, of course, a memorandum of agreement, which I'm working on. And then they actually want training dates. That's kind of the first thing they want, training dates. So that would give us time to still identify our kids and invite them. So my next question to you is your thoughts, and also based on your availability later in the summer. I don't know, and there's so much in the air. I don't know if it would be beneficial to schedule the training prior to the actual start of school, or if we wait and we start a training maybe within the first week of school. I haven't quite decided on that yet. I wonder what you guys think. The school starts August 4th officially.
I think that, I mean, if you wait till the beginning of school, then you know we're all available. You know what I mean? I mean, it may make it a little bit easier. I mean, everybody's probably going to be available, but I mean, I don't know.
It would be, if we did that training, it would be easier to get student involvement, especially that many kids. If we did it during the school day, again, all this is assuming we're physically in school, especially because if we're identifying some lower kids who might not have transportation and things.
Does training have to take place in person?
Well, that's their goal. If not, they've got on their website about their COVID resources. They'll look at a virtual training if they have to. Yeah.
It may be something to look at just to kickstart it with Zoom training.
Yeah, just plan on that. Yeah.
That way it doesn't matter when school starts or, you know, what kind of schedule we have.
That's true. Yeah.
I mean, because if I was on vacation, I could still come in for a Zoom meeting if I knew.
Yeah.
In time. I think I know it's probably hard because they're probably pressuring you to know, but I feel like until Jennifer McCormick makes an announcement about school, I feel like it's not really fair to make you have to schedule something if we don't know.
Yeah.
And I don't think that announcement's going to come till July.
Is it? Do we know?
I mean, I know she tweeted yesterday for people to be patient, that she's working with the governor, but I don't think that she'll make an announcement at least till June.
I think, oh yeah, it'll definitely be June. Yeah.
Well, when July 4th comes around, that's supposed to be the date that we're kind of back, all the phases are through. I think that's when if they have to adjust anything, they're going to adjust it then. They're going to say, okay, wait a minute, we're not ready.
Working, yeah.
And schools, I think schools would be the slowest because of the
nature of us. Yeah.
Well, the Kawasaki, that's what Tia called it. I don't know what it's really called. But when the kids get the COVID and then they start to recover and then they have the multiple systems shut down, they've got 100 cases right now in New York. And we're about 2 weeks after them. So I think when that starts making its way across the country,
wow,
there's no way. I mean, there's no way schools are going to say, oh yeah, let's go back to normal.
We can fit 60 kids on buses.
Yeah. School is one of those ways. It's one of those organizations. It's impossible to socially distance, and it's impossible to clean everything unless we quadrupled our cleaning staff. I mean, it's just not. Yeah, it's not going to happen.
We're not going to clean every locker every night.
Exactly.
You're not going to. I mean,
every bus seat. Yeah. No.
Could you plan something for like the week of August 10th? Because if we go back on the 4th, and then that would give the students kind of like 4 days to be acclimated, and then we could do a training.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just my initial thought.
Yeah, that was I had two thoughts. The first one was maybe right before school starts, but then I don't know about that. And then my other thought was I didn't want to do it the first week of school, but if we give teachers enough heads up, and it's only 40 kids, it's not like we're taking out the entire school. That next week we just said, you know what, the student training would be that Monday, Tuesday.
Well, and the kids, I feel like at the beginning of school, the very first day they're excited, then the second and third day they're really tired.
Yeah.
But then like the following week, they're kind of like, they're in a routine. And if I knew what was going on as a teacher, like,
yeah,
it's easy to plan if you know.
So let me make a note here. So.
Hey, I want to be gone for like 30 seconds.
Okay.
Which means he either needs more coffee or he has to pee.
I was thinking coffee.
I
just
don't know if you can do both in 30 seconds. So
get coffee and pee. I think you can do both.
How motivated you are. Now, okay, that's for the student training. I'll have to double check, but I think the adult training would need to be separate and probably prior to that. Maybe.
I would say the adult training in June or July. And I mean, it's got to be somewhat close to the start of it just for momentum purposes.
Yeah.
If it's too early, they could kind of lose some of the momentum of it. But
you guys had mentioned about maybe doing vacations. Is there a time in July that's just bad for you?
The last week of July is bad for us.
Okay.
Now we're kind of waiting too for what they end up doing with AAU basketball when it comes to July.
Sure.
They may start opening that up, but that's mostly on weekends. But it could impact some Fridays.
So like the week, July 13th, that week then?
I'm gone from July 9th through the July 19th.
Okay.
Well, we're supposed to be going to Hawaii, as long as it doesn't get canceled.
I hope that works for you.
So, but if I know ahead of time, I could always Zoom in on a day if.
Well, we could do that week of July 20th.
The only thing about that week, my 20th anniversary is on the 22nd, so I want to remain married for 20 more, so I can't scheduling on the 22nd. And I can't play it off as I forgot. That doesn't work. It only works a couple times. Right, Bruce?
Well, especially when you're the one setting it up.
Yeah.
Can we do it that 20th, that Monday?
Let me look here.
I don't know. Throwing that day out there.
Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah,
when are we in Florida?
What's that?
Holly came out and I asked her when we were in Florida,
Okay.
allegedly in Florida.
Yeah, we were supposed to go to Harry Potter World the 3rd week of June. That got canceled, so I don't
When are
know.
we?
I think we're looking fall break maybe.
But it's not the last. Oh, never mind. I got it.
No, you're not.
I'm in Florida, July 13th through the 18th, and then we have a camping trip in Michigan the week after. But I mean, I can try to figure it out from my phone.
Okay. Oh, so when will you leave for your camping trip, Bruce?
Look, Holly, is it okay? So the 20th. Look. So look at the calendar. Is it the 20th?
Yeah.
So we go to the 20th through like the 23rd, 24th. Yeah. I think it's like the 20th.
Okay.
So it's Monday the 20th. So we're gone in Florida from the 13th to the 18th, and we come back Sunday, and then I think we're going like Monday to Thursday maybe in Michigan.
Okay. What about Friday, July 24th?
Yeah, I should be back.
That sound okay for you guys?
Joe, when do you leave?
25th.
Okay.
Is that a problem?
24th is my anniversary.
Oh, we can't do that.
No, it's not a big one. It would be all right. I mean,
It's an odd number, right?
Yeah.
Just a normal one.
And you didn't plan it. Like, oh, Matt made me come on the 24th.
You know what, Joe? Just act surprised when you get the alert on your phone. What is this?
I
swear.
I had this day out planned. I had a weekend getaway.
Nah, we're past that.
Hold on. I always got a calendar out.
We're going to go see some rock monuments out in South Dakota.
Because we leave the 12th. I think we leave the 12th.
Okay. How long is the training?
The
we don't
training would be 1 day for like 3 to 6 hours.
Okay. I would prefer to do it. I mean, just because it's a Friday, early as possible.
Mm-hmm. That's fine with me.
Okay.
Okay. So,
Bruce, get approval from Holly. He put himself on mute. We can't hear you.
Well, she finally grabbed her calendar because she has a flip phone. So when I showed her my calendar on my phone, I don't think she knew what that was. So now she grabbed her phone and her calendar, and she has given me all kinds of dates. You can't do that. You can't do this. I'm like, okay. Well, never mind. I had my Michigan dates wrong, so that's good. So I'm good. I'm good to 24th though.
Okay.
Welcome to our world. We have somewhat technology, which is me, somewhat, I'm learning, to 0. She does the same amount of work in technology as Colt Edmond does in Algebra 1.
He is the Suzanne McGrew of technology.
I know enough to be dangerous. Other than that, it's not good. It's not.
So basically the same as Suzanne McGrew. She knows enough to be dangerous.
Okay, she's okay. On a scale of 1 to 10, she's a 4. I'm a 4.5. Like I'm a little bit better, but not much.
All right. So I have got the student training August 10th and 11th, and then the adult training July 24th. So I'll get them those dates. I'll see if we can use the school. That would be my.
Okay. I was going to say if the 24th doesn't work, I feel like we're going to have to just do it like one of the first days of school.
Yeah.
All right.
And if the school doesn't work, then I might see if there's a local church like Sulphur Springs or something that we could do it there.
Well, I mean, we're under as of right now though, right? We're under the 25 in a group or whatever.
Yeah.
So, I mean.
Well, you and I know that. I don't know that Mr. Green might see it that way.
Okay, well, I will tell you right now, you can have it at Sulphur Church if this doesn't work.
Okay.
We have a key.
So our training is July 24th, and the
Yes.
kids are August 10th and 11th?
Yes.
Okay.
Not yet.
Okay, let me look at my email. Whoops, back here. Whoa. Okay, so possible dates for adult advisor training, 3 to 6 hours, peer leader training. Okay, start nominating, recruiting. Okay, secure location for trainings to occur. Discuss when you will hold peer leader meetings. And they suggest that by the time we have our first peer leader training, we have at least an initial schedule of when they would meet on a regular basis. So we don't have to set that yet. And then the other thing we could talk about today is you need to discuss a communication tool like Google Classroom or Remind or something. What would you suggest would be a good way to communicate with kids? I mean, Remind or I don't know. What do you think? Canvas?
I would say we create a Canvas class,
Okay.
but I also think we could do Remind Us in them text messages. But I think if we're trying to put everything in Canvas as well, having them there, because they can always have a chat if they needed. Also, I was going to suggest maybe every Tuesday, or every other Tuesday for the peer, because sometimes we don't have school on Mondays. If it's
So that I'm trying to cycle through my tabs here. So with and we don't have to decide this now, but it doesn't hurt to talk about it. So the student the student meeting, the peer leader meeting, they suggest either twice a month for an hour or every week for 30 minutes. So my thought was homeroom's 25. So if we did like every Tuesday or whatever, I'm just picking a day, every Tuesday during homeroom, except, hold on, don't we have professional development on Tuesday sometimes and then we don't have homeroom?
Yeah, so maybe Thursdays. I would stay away from Wednesday because that's club day.
Okay. Yeah. So
I think we need to make sure we let these kids know that they're going to lose those homerooms.
Yeah.
Because I think that might be a little bit of a concern for some kids.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Losing that 25 minutes, whether it be once a week or twice a week or whatever, not being able to have that time to make sure they're getting work completed.
Or do we pull them and do a lunch meeting once a week? I mean, I don't know. With my Transformers, I get mixed results with that. I
would say before school, but
yeah, and depending on
Emily would be the one that could get there before school, not this guy.
Well, some of the kids I think we probably want on the peer training may not have reliable transportation.
Yeah.
And I don't want that to be the reason that holds them out from that.
Yeah.
Do you think homeroom or lunch? I mean,
I think homeroom.
Okay.
But I think it's just that's what they do. That's a part of their thing, and
yeah,
they've signed up for that. They know that that's our agreement going forward. I think that that's a fine thing to request of them.
Well, and it also can determine their commitment level. Okay. All right. And then
I just don't want kids to say yes because they think it's something cool to do. I think they need to know that this is something they're going to commit to, that meets, and they're going to have responsibilities. And
absolutely. Yeah. Because it's largely up to them. I mean, as adults, we lead, we advise, but they're the ones that really have the power to change the culture.
Yeah.
Let me look. One other thing about how often the adults have to meet. Where are you at? Adult advisors. Okay, I got to go back to email. Where was the implementation?
If we invite Sue in this meeting, we'll definitely have snacks.
That's true.
Maybe she can be our person that funds the food for everybody.
Yeah, there we go.
My point. Yes.
Okay, here we go. Afterwards, we recommend that adult and peer leaders meet every 2 weeks for 30 to 60 minutes. So then I guess my thought would be then every two, so they're meeting every week. The kids are meeting every week during homeroom, and then twice a month, maybe we provide lunch and they have a lunch meeting. And then the adults and the students meet together at the same time. And that's where
I think that's going to be a big portion of it is it, I mean, if we do a lunch meeting or if we do something like that, it's going to have to be, I mean, it's going to have to be, I think it sounds like to me, there's going to be a decent amount of stuff to cover. We're going to have to be pretty focused.
yeah.
So I think it's going to have to be pretty structured in a lunch more than they run it. And
Yeah, we would run it. Yeah, we would work with them and run it. And we'd get donations and bring food in. So like twice a month, we'd have a lunch meeting. Is that something you guys could commit to?
Yes.
would you say twice a month?
Twice a month, yeah, like every second Wednesday or whatever, second and fourth Wednesdays or whatever we pick.
Emily, that just means lunch those 2 times are going to be boring in the lounge.
I know. What are they going to do without us?
Be bored.
No one to absorb all that negative energy. Gosh. Okay. The only other thing I need to look at, I thought I saw someplace where adult leaders need to meet more than that, but that seems like a lot. So that's probably all there is.
It probably depends on how productive the meetings are too.
Yeah. The only other thing, I will send you guys a link. They have a video to what's called an implementation timeline. It's like a 40-minute video. It probably would be good for next time, before we meet next time, to we all view it so we kind of know what the implementation looks like. So I'll send out that link.
When are we meeting again?
So let's do this. Before we leave here, let's plan on a meeting next week, a time next week that works for everybody. And then when I reach out to the other people we're going to invite, I'll have them come to that meeting. So next Thursday is when we're handing out caps and gowns. And I can't remember what time that was. Emily, Joe, do you remember, or Bruce, do you remember what time the caps and gowns are being handed out on Thursday?
It's 2 to 3:30.
2 to 3:30.
In the afternoon.
Yeah, we could do it in the morning.
Okay.
So it's not 2 to 3:30 in the morning?
Now I want to be Bob.
Oh. There's always got to be that guy.
My daughter would still be up. She's nocturnal. 2 to 3:30.
What?
We always kind of laugh at our house because we're right across. What's that? Hi, buddy.
I said he keeps her going, doesn't he?
We always laugh at our house because we're across the street from the Freezes, and they're up early all the time. I remember several years back, Jason and Michelle had to go to the airport, and so they asked me to go over to their house, and the kids were up at like 5 on their own watching a movie, just, and then you contrast that with our family. My wife's family are like half vampire. The story I love is my wife's older brother, they couldn't get him to go to sleep, and Dad was a teacher, so they would literally shut the bedroom door, put him next to the bed with toys, and they would go to sleep because he wouldn't go to bed till 1 a.m. when he was like 6 years old. And my daughter's, she reversed to that. She goes to bed. If we let her, it'd be 3 o'clock in the morning till get up at 1. That's not me. I can't do it. I can't
I can't either. I can't do that.
And my wife's, my brother-in-law, they'll routinely stay up till 4 o'clock. That's just how they work. I don't function.
I stay up till 4 o'clock. I'm done for 3 days.
Amen. Be bed by 10 if I can. Yeah. Okay. So we've got our trainings. We didn't set next week. So how's next Thursday sound? Like 9 o'clock? Does that work?
That works.
Sure.
You think that's better than Friday?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know. Whatever day.
I can do Friday morning too. I don't care.
Well,
I can do either.
Let's do, well, I mean, if we give it a week, that gives us time. Yeah, let's do next Friday.
Okay. At 9?
9, yes. I'll put that on my calendar.
Anybody want a 2-year-old? I've
think
already
I'd
asked him, he never volunteers.
I think I'd rather you pull my fingernails out with pliers.
It's like they know when I'm on meetings, so they do everything they know they're not allowed to do. And then like, is your meeting over yet? And then they just chuck things.
Okay, so that's next.
I remember when our kids were that age going through, we were ready for the the terrible twos. And I think all 4 of them, it was worse at 3. Just to encourage you a little bit, Emily.
I think we're headed toward that direction. He turns 3 at the end of the month, and I'm like, I wish you were beginning of 2s again. I don't know if you can see what he was doing, but I confiscated these. He leaned over and just picked them up and started laughing. Like, you little turd.
But at least boys are fairly straightforward with, I mean, you know what you're going to give. Yeah, versus the other option, so.
When I left, he was mad at me because I told him he had to go pee. And he goes, I want to go pee in the grass. And I said, you're peeing in a toilet today. And he had a meltdown.
Peeing in the toilet today. Man.
I showed him how to pee outside one time, and now he thinks he always gets to go pee outside.
Good for him. See the advantage of being a guy.
Have you taught him how to pee in a pool?
I know. He's learned. Well, he had to learn how to pee in a bottle at Kathy Marshall's house because he tried to pee in her yard, and she about flipped out. So Zach taught him how to pee in a bottle.
Another great skill learned. That's
He's
awesome.
learned a lot at age 2.
He about flipped out. That's hilarious.
God, look at this. Look what this quarantine's done for you guys, Emily.
I know. I've gone crazy, but he's learned how to not pee his pants.
Those are life skills.
It's been okay. Yeah, it's been okay.
All right, guys, I think that's all I've got. I really appreciate your time and appreciate your enthusiasm. I'm going to send you a follow-up email with a link. So I don't know if Emily was in the screen when I mentioned there's a video on the Sources of Strength website that explains implementation. It's like a 40-minute video. So if you guys could watch that before our next meeting, that would be helpful. Okay?
Yep.
Sounds good.
You got it.
And if you want to, just one last thing to the people like Krusty Connor and Leanne and Christy, if you guys want to just give them a heads up that I'll be contacting them, that might help. Hey, Matt's going to call you because we're trying to implement a suicide prevention program in Shenandoah.
Okay.
Sounds good.
Okay. Thanks, guys.
Okay.
Thanks.
Bye.
Have a
See
good
ya.
day.